daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Kenny's pipe is out, which can mean it's only one thing. It's only one thing. It's one thing. He's got it out already. He's gone too early. He's gone too early, ladies and gentlemen, and anybody else in between. You're listening to Road to the World Cup 26 podcast, part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. A very warm welcome to you, as always, the world's only podcast dedicated to the Premier League.
No, the World Cup. Dedicated to the World Cup.
World Cup. I was getting our podcast mixed up. Ken and I also do a daily Premier League one, which is also the world's only podcast dedicated to the Premier League. Yeah, I was so carried away. I was so excited by your pipe.
Thank you.
That I was forgetting
I
where
was supposed to say that, to be honest.
My name is Nick Britton. I am your host. Today, as always, I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, my great friend, and the man who is to football what Thomas Tuchel is to getting England fans on board. It's Mr. Ken Davis. Hello, Ken. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon is always good. And I like this podcast. I like it for a million reasons. One of the main reasons is like we turn the tables, because I'm normally sitting in your seat when we do the Daily Premier League. And on this one, I can just sit back and just answer the questions, which is fun.
Yeah, or not answer the questions, as is most of the time.
I'm always right.
Mate, 3 out of 3 last week. 3 out of 3. I'm looking for you to build on that. Yeah. Get up because can you do what Ruben Amorim in the Premier League cannot do, which is get 2 3 out of 3s in a row, 2 3-pointers in a row. We'll see. Anyway, as always, we've got your World Cup news and we've got Kenny's quiz, as we were just talking about. Lots to talk about in news and qualifying and all of that. And then in between all of that and all of the chit chat and the general good fun, we take a deep dive into teams that have qualified. And today we are travelling to Northeast Africa and taking a delve into Tunisia. So it goes on. Do you feel like getting up and marching again? I could see you sort of strumming along there.
It's great. I mean, you would march that, wouldn't you? Because it's bum, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum. I mean, you would be able to march in quick time to that. I like that. That's the kind of national anthem. If you were going to AI a national anthem, you'd come up with that, wouldn't it? Really?
You reckon? No, it's good because you've been a bit disappointed with the national anthems of late. You've not been able to get excited about the last 2 or 3 weeks of national anthems, but I'm glad to see that you like the Tunisia one.
It's not bad. I'm not saying it's probably round 16. The only thing it's missing in the Tunisian national anthem is not Tunisian enough.
Yeah, if it gets to round 16, it'll do a lot better. Yeah, it'll do a lot better than the football team if it gets anywhere near round 16. So yeah, that is a good. It is a good national anthem. It's quite jolly. It's quite marchy. It's quite. Do you think it's Tunisian enough for you? Because you always complain that the national anthems are never kind of.
It's not
reflective of their country.
It's not Tunisian enough. It hasn't got enough sharps or flats in it. It's very Western. I'd prefer the Tunisian national anthem to be a little bit more North African, to be honest.
Right, okay. But it was written by, I can tell you this, it was written by the same guy who wrote the music for the national anthems of Libya and the United Arab Emirates. So it's not Western really, is it?
It is. It's using all the Western notes, but not necessarily in the right places.
Yeah, as the old thing is. Yeah, good. Okay, well, let's move on from the Tunisian national anthem. As much as we'd like to talk about it for the rest of the podcast, we won't. Right, we're going to start with a bit of breaking news. Then we're going to move on to having a look at Tunisia, who are as always, I've picked out 5 key players who I think will make an impact, or at least I've just found 5 players who play for Tunisia.
Good luck with that, Nick.
Yeah,
I've actually seen one of them play.
But Ken is going to tell us how they line up, what the formation is. We've got what else? We've got Kenny's quiz, everybody's favourite time of the week. We've got a little bit of their manager, Sami Trabelsi, and then we're going to finish, as always we do, looking to predict how Tunisia are going to get on. Anyway, before we do all of that, let's go on with some breaking news because there's been lots going on. Yeah. Shuffling away there, mate. You had your pipe out and your papers out. You're on it today.
Oh, yeah.
You must be feeling better, yeah? You must be feeling better.
I am much better.
Lots of games going on at the moment to do with qualifying and lots of friendly games and what have you. I'm sure your team has been playing. Algeria and Egypt, congratulations to those. They are the latest two teams to qualify from the African Federation. So Egypt qualified with a 3-0 win over Djibouti. Now, Ken, something extraordinary happened in that game. Do you know what it is?
Djibouti?
Yeah, in that match between Egypt and Djibouti.
Was it something to do with Salah and the amount of goals he scored?
Well, kind of, but you ruined my gag because the most extraordinary thing was Salah scored. But there you go.
I'm with you. I like that.
That's ruined my gag. He scored two. And I was having a look at the game and I went to something which did look extraordinary. And I need to sort of check this out, but I haven't had time. I went onto the official FIFA website to look at the lineups and just look at the game and what have you. And they did their sort of lineup in formation style as they do, and they had Egypt down as playing a 3-6-1 formation.
Wow!
And I don't know whether that's true. Well, it's just been a bit of a glitch on the FIFA website.
They were playing a flat middle six, were they?
Yeah, flat middle six. Yeah, I mean they'll all be fighting for any kind of position on the pitch, wouldn't they? They'll all be just argy-barging themselves out of the way. So I don't think that's right. It's probably a 4-3-3. Looking at the players they had on offer. But they did have it down.
No. It's not a 4-3-3 if they're lined up as a 3-6-1. It's going to be 3.
Yeah, true.
5-3-1-1.
Yeah, could be that.
They're going to play at the back, aren't they?
No, true. I prefer a 3-6-1. I prefer a 3-6-1.
We've never seen a 3-6-1, have we?
It's got potential, isn't it? I like the look of that. Anyway, they have now fashioned an unassailable lead at the top of Group G. So well done to them. Uganda are looking good for second spot. So they will be eyeing a playoff place. They beat Botswana in a week. So well done to them. Bad news for Mozambique. They have seen their hopes shattered. Not shattered, but taken a real kick in the backside because they lost at home to Guinea. Now Guinea have already they've got no chance. Yeah, they've given it up. Guinea up. I don't know. You can tell it's Friday afternoon, can't you? So well done to Egypt and well done to Algeria also, who beat Somalia 3-0 with goals. Amongst the goals, I'll tell you what, amongst the goal scorers was Riyad Mahrez. Remember him?
Whoa, do I? What a player. Yeah. And that means Algeria qualified, doesn't it?
It does, that's what I mean, yeah. Algeria have qualified. Have you not been listening to the first 30 seconds of this podcast, Ken? Come on. Keep up.
That means we'll do Algeria next week, by the way. Executive decision, we'll do Algeria next week too. Because we've done Egypt. We assumed they were going to get through. They did, right. Thank God. We're always right on these things. Algeria next week then.
Yeah, okay, very good. Elsewhere then in qualifying, lots of games going on in Europe. Obviously UEFA is miles behind everybody else when it comes to qualifying. A lot of their teams are only really just getting going. Denmark hit 6 away at Belarus. Netherlands hit 4. Austria hit 10 against San Marino.
Why can't we do that?
Yeah, including 4 goals from Marko Arnautovic, if you remember him. He used to play for West Ham a couple of years ago.
Good player.
And who in doing so became Austria's all-time leading goal scorer. So
with 4.
I think they've probably scored before. I don't think Austria have never scored a goal in any international football ever.
That was Hans Frankel, wasn't it? The top Austrian goal scorer. I remember from the 1978 World Cup. Absolutely magnificent player.
Yeah. The game we're going to talk about just for a moment then, not necessarily for football, was England versus Wales. And I messaged you, didn't I?
3-0 win, I thought. Very lucky 3-0 victory.
Now, as you know, Ken pretends to be Welsh sometimes when it suits him. So he would have been supporting the Dragons until they let in their first goal after about 3 minutes. And then he probably would have switched sides to England.
I didn't.
But I messaged you, didn't I, last night saying I would call Wales a pub team, but that's an insult to pub teams. I mean, they were absolutely wretched. They were dreadful. What a dreadful...
I thought it was going to be about 12-0.
England just gave up after 3-0. I mean, just literally, they scored 3 in the first 20 minutes and played brilliantly.
They were amazing.
Played brilliantly, whatever you want to say. then they just kind of gave up and they had loads of the ball, they attacked loads, but they just never had that intensity again. I think internationally, and it was a friendly as well, so it wasn't even a qualifier. And I think the players, whether you want to or not, when you're a footballer, you just subconsciously just dip, don't you? When it's 3-0 after 20 minutes, you just subconsciously just take your foot off.
In a friendly, the job is done. Why take any risk? Kind of thing.
Mate, if you're 3-0 up against Wales at any stage, at any game, the game is done. It doesn't matter what the game is.
All right.
So they were particularly poor, I thought. Really, really poor. But anyway, that's not what we wanted to talk about. What we wanted to talk about was the fact that after the game, Thomas Tuchel, the England manager, was very critical of the England supporters and the atmosphere, or should I say, lack of atmosphere, there was at Wembley, and particularly in the second half, where the Welsh crowd, because they had really nothing to look at on a pitch, started getting noisy and rowdy and supporting the teams, and the England fans' response was really just to leave, sort of get up and go. And with about 20 minutes to go, I think the stadium just empties out. Now, it's natural. I mean, I went to the World Cup qualifier. So I mean, you could argue this is a friendly, so it doesn't really matter. But I went to the World Cup qualifier last month between England and Andorra, and loads of people didn't come back after half time. And it was only 1-0, and that's a World Cup qualifier. And honestly, with 20 minutes to go, it was at Villa Park, and we were sitting in the North Stand. So you're opposite the Holt end, which is the big sort of stand behind the goal. It was just nobody in it. It was just bare. There were just patches all over the place. People just leaving. And we stayed till the final whistle. And honestly, we were amongst a few thousand. That was it. Well, everybody had gone.
There's a couple of points to that. Firstly, it was a friendly. Secondly, actually, Tuchel can't really complain because it's down to the players on the pitch to keep people entertained. And if people aren't going to be entertained, and it's a friendly against a relatively poor team, the 3-0 up, clearly the intensity has completely dropped out of the game. You know what? The intensity is going to completely drop out of the crowd. One feeds on the other. We see it in football all the time. So, it is part of that, but Tuchel can't really complain about that. The other thing I think just is a thought I've had for a while. I think really, unless we get to a final of something, England fans tend to be club fans. They're interested in their club. They're a lot less interested in their nation. Different when we get to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals of big global competitions. But until that happens, in qualification, we're not that excited, really. I think that's true.
Yeah, they sell out every game. Every England game's a sellout, but you're right in as much as the atmosphere is never great, and people leave really early. And how interested are they in the football, or are they more interested in just sort of putting something on Instagram and going home again? I don't know. It is a little bit weird. Let me read you what Tuchel said. He said, we could have been 5 up at half time. We couldn't score the 4th and 5th goals. And that's true. They could have done. They came very close to scoring more goals.
All right.
The stadium was silent. We didn't get any energy back from the stands, and we did everything to win. What more? Asked if he expected more from the fans. He said, yeah, what more can you give in 20 minutes? And I think he's got a point. He's got a point. I mean, I'm not saying. I don't think it's right to say that he's wrong. I think he's got a point. But I take on board everything he said. Midweek game. There were issues also with the tube and what have you. And interestingly, Tuchel sort of pointed out the fact that the support in Serbia last month was much better when England played over in Serbia.
Because it was an away game.
Because it's an away game. And it's the hardcore fans go.
Exactly.
And when you're an away fan, you make more noise anyway.
Exactly. And that's always true. Away fans always make more noise than the home fans. They always do. I think he's got a point. But at the end of the day, it's up to him to make it entertaining enough for people to stick around. What I do like about Tuchel, and I've seen it in a number of occasions now, he's got an opinion and he's not afraid to say it. And what I like about him, he isn't one of these politically correct people who just give these vanilla answers that mean nothing. And if he's got something on his mind, whether about the attitude of the players, about the team, or about the fans, he's going to say it. And I like that about him, and more power to his elbow on that.
I also like it, and it taps into one of our kind of hot potatoes at the moment. We are going to address on a little bit on here, but more on the Premier League podcast, which is fans are becoming very, very entitled, and they seem to think they can behave exactly what they want, how they like, say what they like, abuse anybody they like, and not expect anything back.
Yeah.
So I quite like the fact Tuchel said, "I don't like any of this. The supporters need to make more noise." I like it, and I agree with him. And I'm not saying that if I was stood in the stadium last night, I would have made any more noise, but I think he's got every right to say it.
Yeah, so do I. And more power to his elbow. Keep saying it, Thomas.
Yeah. Good man. Right. Okay. Let's dig down into Tunisia. So the first thing we're going to do, as always, is look at 5 key players.
No, we're not. No, we're not, Nick. The first thing we do is talk about history, form.
Oh yeah, I always forget about that.
And
Do you know
ranking.
why?
That's what we do. Yeah, because I do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's not my bit, so I've got to listen to you.
It's my
I do
bit.
apologise. Let me rewind. The first thing we're going to do, as we always do, without fail, and never forget to do, because it's the most important part of the podcast, is Ken's going to give us a short, and I mean short, rundown of Tunisia's history in the World Cup and where they are at the moment.
I will. And I won't take any longer than about 25 minutes over this. So, history. You've got to remember, Nick, by the way, you've got to remember that until 1954, Tunisia was considered part of France. It was a French protectorate. So they weren't even relevant in relation. Well, they were relevant, but they weren't actually playing in the World Cup. Their first qualification as an independent nation came in 1978, and in all, they've competed in 6 World Cups. That's 78, the one we just mentioned, 98, 2002, 2006, 2018, 2022. And obviously, they're already qualified for 2026. So it's been a good run recently. Essentially, they have got some noticeable scalps. They were the first Arab African team ever to win a World Cup match. They beat Mexico 3-1, in fact, in their very first game in 1978. Tunisian football history in the context of the World Cup kind of divided into certain kind of generations. They had a golden generation. Every team has a golden generation. Theirs was between 1962 and 1978. They essentially went from nothing, really nothing. I mean, Tunisia 11 against the Camels 11 to World Cup.
I think I saw that game. Yeah. I thought because Tunisia won and the Camels weren't happy. They got the ump.
Yay! That's very good. That's very good. But they were so they qualified in the World Cup in 1978. They were actually officially placed 9th. By the way, the World Cup, FIFA have this weird thing that every team in the World Cup, wherever they go out at, the group stages or wherever, they always get a kind of position in the World Cup. And even though they went out the group stages, they've never got past the group stages, by the way. They were ranked 9th in 1978. 78 to 94 was a bit of a decline. They missed out on 6 AFCON, which is the African Cup of Nations tournaments. They had something of a renaissance, a reemergence between 1998 and 2010 under Roger Lemaire as the manager. They won the AFCON title in that time. And since 2014, they've had another bit of a renaissance. They've had, obviously, 2 World Cup qualifications in 2018, 2022, and another one now. So things are looking up in Tunisian football. You only need to look at the CAF, the African Confederation FIFA qualification this time. Group H, particularly. I draw your attention to Group H. Tunisia played 8, won 7, lost 1, drawn 1, lost 0. But the opposition in that qualifying group is not the greatest. It consists of Namibia, Malawi, Sao Tome and Principe, Equatorial Guinea, and Liberia. Now, bless them, they're not exactly at the top of the charts in the FIFA World Rankings, are they?
Yeah, I reckon even the Camels could have beaten some of those.
They could have, yeah. I mean, they can kick it a long way, I would imagine. So, just looking at the recent form of the last 12 months, what we tend to do: 10 games, won 6, drawn 1, lost 3. They have lost these. The 3 they've lost to, just to put some context, so you understand where we're coming from at the end of this. They lost to Comoros, who were 105th in the league, shock 1-0 defeat at home. They lost to the Gambia, who are 115th in the world. Shock 1-0 defeat at home. The only decent team they've really played recently is Morocco, who are in 11th. We covered them the other week. They lost 2-0 quite convincingly. They are worse than Morocco. So just to give you a sense of ranking, they are ranked 46th. Remember, it's a 48-nation World Cup this time. Their all-time high was back in 2018. We mentioned 14th in the world. They've slipped down the rankings really in the last 5 years, kind of stabilised where they are, but they are currently 46th. And you know what? They feel 46th, in my opinion. So that is a bit of history, a bit of form, and a bit of ranking. And I know how much you love ranking.
I think that's every week, mate. It's a good bit of context, to be fair, because their group is particularly bad. There's only one way of making their group worse, and that was if you put Wales in it. Other than that, they are absolutely. I mean, it's just
Wales and Camels in the same group.
Well, Wales and Camels would actually make that group. Well, no, Camels would make the group better. Wales would make the group worse. I think, so it's all very well saying, yeah, well done qualifying early. I don't think that's an indication of actually how good they are. But no, thank you for that, mate. Thank you for that. It wasn't indeed, as you said, it wasn't 25 minutes. It just felt like it. Right, let's have a look at 5 key players for Tunisia. Do you want to do an advert?
I think we should.
Okay, you do an advert. Go on.
Because there's 21 minutes gone already. And our sponsors will be saying, well, what about us? I mean, what about us?
All right, go on.
Fair enough, because as we know, as Sammy Trebelski knows, it pays to get your team selection right. And here at Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery partner. And we chose Zencastr because guess what? Zencastr makes it easy to bring your vision to life, share it with your audience, or wherever they may be. They could be in Tunisia, wherever they are. With 4K video recording, easy AI editing tools, top-tier distribution, and all in one place. And that's the key thing, all in one place. If you've got a story to tell it with Zencastr. Check the show notes for more details, Nick. There you go. Off you go.
Thank you very much. Right, finally, the third time of asking. And I'd love to say this is worth the wait, but I'm not sure it's going to be. 5 key players who are going to light up the world for Tunisia. This is quite difficult. Okay, it's quite difficult and one of the reasons it's difficult is because when Trebelsi took over in January, he kind of just ripped up the squad, and he brought in loads of kind of new players and players who hadn't played for ages and this, that, and the other. He bought like 11 or 12 new players, and therefore, if you look at the team at the moment, they don't have many caps, so it's very difficult to sort of see who the real superstars are and all of that, because it's quite difficult. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, I've tried to select 5, having gone through the entire squad, to just to excite you all. Right, goalkeeper is Amen Darman. Now he is somebody who is the number 1 goalkeeper and has been since 2022. He's 28 years old, plays in the first division of the Tunisian league, and he's their goalie. That's all I've got. Literally, that's all I've got. He's a goalie, and he's all right. I mean, he's okay. He does well.
He's 6'11", you know.
He's not 6'11". He made his debut. He's not 6'11" at all. He made his debut for the senior national team in 2021 in AFCON, and he's been the goalie ever since. So that's him. Yeah, absolutely.
What makes him
I guess I did dig up something interesting about him. When he went to the World Cup in 2022, he played in all of Tunisia's games, but he went as third choice. He wasn't even meant to play. So it's a bit like going to the World Cup next summer for England with, I don't even know, who is our third choice keeper? Ramsdale? No. Trafford, maybe?
Crystal Palace guy?
No, he's number 2. Dean Henderson's number 2. Anyway, and then finding a complete change in goal of somebody you didn't expect. But anyway,
he's been the goalie ever since.
He's been well. They didn't get out of the group stage, but he only conceded 1 goal.
But he kept his place ever since.
He's kept his place ever since. So here's your goalie. Right, let's move up the pitch a little bit, and I've gone for the right back, Jan Valery, 26-year-old right back, and I picked him simply because I've heard of him because he plays for Sheffield Wednesday in the English Championship. He used to play for Southampton, and he had a bit of a spell at Birmingham, so he's kind of knocked around at a high level English football. I'm not going to lie, because he played with Southampton in the Premier League, and we're going back to 2020 to 21. But the Championship, for those of you who don't know it, the Championship in England, which is the second tier league below the Premier League, is really good. It's a high quality of football when you're comparing it to the Tunisian Premier League or other teams that the Tunisian players play for. So I think Valery he'll have more about him than some of the other Tunisian players who play in Qatar, who play at the Tunisian leagues and stuff like that.
It's extremely competitive.
It's what's extremely competitive.
It's extremely competitive league.
I think it is extremely. I think it's more skillful than people give it credit for. I know that you watch Wrexham and I watch Derby, so we sometimes not treat
I'm thinking, hang on a minute, this isn't processing properly. But
exactly. But some of the teams,
level it is.
Some of the teams at the top of the league are really good. They're a joy to watch and better to watch than some Premier League teams. So he's French born. He played for France under 17s. He played for France under 18s before switching to his mother's country of birth, which is Tunisia, and breakthrough there in 2022. He's got 12 caps, and he's their right back.
Very good.
The captain of the team is a gentleman called Fejani Sassi. He's a very experienced player, 33 years old, and he also plays for Al Gharafa in the Qatar Stars League. He's got 88 caps, 8 goals. He's Tunisia's most experienced player by a mile. And if they are going to dig out a single point even at the World Cup next year, he's going to be very important to them because they're going to need that experience. Because my sense is they're going to go in with a team that's quite inexperienced, not young, but inexperienced, because these new players that are coming through or players that are coming back after a long absence. So he's going to be important to them. And then the last two I've gone for are players who play up top. Mohamed Elias Akouri, and I picked these because I think they play at kind of the highest level of football that the Tunisians have got outside of the Championship. So Akouri's 26, plays as a midfielder for the Danish Superliga side Copenhagen. So again, he was another one who was born in France, and he plays at a decent level. They're all right. It's okay. It's not as good as the Championship, but it's all right. 22 caps, 2 goals. He can play on the left, also as a kind of left winger or midfielder, depending on what the formation will be. And then the last one is Elias Saad, who's SAAD. That is, I don't think he's sad. Let's hope he's not sad. We don't want him to be sad on a Friday afternoon, do we? 25 years old, plays for. I don't know. It was a hard. Mate. It was a hard one.
Carry on, man. I'm just sucking on my pipe.
You suck on your pipe. You suck on your pipe. He's a left winger, and he plays in the Bundesliga, so he plays at the highest level.
Decent.
The highest level of any footballer who plays for the Tunisian national team, and he plays for FC Augsburg.
I did notice Slimani plays for him. Slimani played for Norwich, didn't he? And I remember coming across him before.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And also, I have to say, I have seen one of these players. Al Abdi plays for Nice.
Yes, he made my initial kind of short list of 8 or 9. I had to whittle him down. I had to substitute him in the end, but he was on my initial list. You saw him the other week, didn't you, when he played for Nice, when you were there?
Yeah. Well, actually, I didn't because he didn't get on the pitch. But he's but he plays for Nice. I've seen the standard of Nice. It's about the Championship, as we talked about before.
Did you wave to him and say, "I'm not going to talk about you on a podcast soon"?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't have a chance to do that.
How disappointing. Anyway, Elias Saad only received his first call up in 2023, made his debut in 2024. He's got 4 caps. He's got 1 goal. And, look, he's a decent player, but he's not going to tear the world up, is he?
They're not lighting your candle at all, are they?
No,
I've
not really.
More excited about fish and chips.
Yeah, well, no, I like fish and chips, especially on a Friday.
Yeah,
especially on a Friday. So, no, I don't want to do them down, but they're all kind of just reasonable players. They're all reasonable players. There just isn't much to say. I search, because when I do all my research for this, I do several things. I go through the teams, I go through the squads, I look at the players, I look at the caps, and then I also search for interesting things about them, like, news or facts or things that happened in the past or this, that, and the other. It takes quite a long time. And I just drew a consistent blank, I'm afraid, with Tunisian players. There isn't just much interesting about them, other than they're perfectly decent footballers.
They're going to surprise us now and actually win the thing, aren't they?
They'll probably. Well, it depends if they're in. They might. Well, Scotland look like they might somehow get to the USA after scabbing a victory against Greece last night.
That would be an entertaining episode.
Yeah.
So if that's your key players,
what formation do they play?
I'll tell you what formation they have gone back in time, as I always do. Look at about the last 5 games. The last game against Equatorial Guinea, which they won 1-0, they played a 4-2-3-1. But forget that. That was an aberration. Every other game they've played, and that's Liberia at home, which they won 3-0. Morocco away, where they lost 2-0, and Burkina Faso, when they won 2-0 at home. They've played a 4-3-3. The key to this...
I was really hoping you're going to... I'm really hoping you're going to play 3-6-1, yeah.
3-6-1. No one's played a 3-6-1 ever, apart from Egypt. Now, the key to this is what was the lineup away at Morocco? Because essentially, Morocco are a good team. They're 11th in the world. They would have put the strongest team out against Morocco and the strongest formation. So I think we can be fairly confident that they're going to be playing a 4-3-3 when they go to America. Darman in goal, Valerie right back, Graham Talby across the middle, and then Al Abdi, our friend from Nice. Then Sassi as the right midfield, Laduni in the middle, Medsbury on the left, Slimani as the top of the 3 from Norwich, Chua in the middle, and Akori on the left, left forward, if you like. So that's their formation. They are always, under Sami Trabelski, a 4-3-3.
Good. Well, we look forward to the playing in something else then when we see them next year, because I think there's going to be a lot of change. I looked at their last game, which was just the other day, and it was a game to get them. It wasn't the other. It was the last game that got them into the World Cups. It was the big match, and their front 3. They did play a 4-3-3, and their front 3 had a combined total of. Let me just do my maths. 32 caps between them, I think. Right. Between them. That ain't going to do.
It's all up for grabs. So we know the formation, but the personnel could be changing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of change. I think the manager's come in and is changing a lot, and they haven't got long. They've probably only got what? Where are we now? Maybe a couple, maybe 3 or 4 friendlies now.
Yeah.
He ain't got time to start mucking around with them, has he? Ain't got time. Anyway, before we move on to everybody's favourite time of the week, which is, of course, Kenny's quiz, I've had a letter in. From our old mate, Angry Matt.
Here we
go.
What's the matter with him now?
Well, he's done what I did, actually. He's got our podcast mixed up because he was listening to the Daily Premier League podcast, but he wrote to us at the World Cup podcast. Because at the Daily Premier League podcast the other day, it's because he always writes to us the World Cup podcast.
Send him a note back saying, I don't know what you're talking about. This is about the
yeah, exactly that. And I can't let him loose on the Daily Premier League podcast as well. No. I'm trying to keep him contained.
Too important.
And but the other day on the Daily Premier League podcast, Ken, you and I looked at, if the World Cup was starting tomorrow, what's our best England team?
Yeah.
And much to his fury, because those of you who listen to this regularly, he is a Nottingham Forest supporter, and he's always angry with us because, well, Ken
we're
always...
Not. We're not.
Because we're not. Yeah, Ken's always slagging off Nottingham Forest. He got very angry with us because Elliot Anderson has been playing for England quite a lot in the last couple of months. Morgan Gibbs-White has been coming off the bench quite a lot, and neither of us mentioned either Anderson or Gibbs-White in our teams for England. Now, I've kind of got a point about Anderson, but in my opinion, I had Adam Wharton in there because I think Adam Wharton's a much better player, and I don't understand for a moment why Tuchel's not picking him in the squad. I don't know who you had. I think you had Rice and Bellingham or something like that. I can't remember.
I had Anderson.
Did you?
I had Anderson as my... I've just checked it now. I had Anderson with Rice as my...
Your dinner tonight.
Anderson with rice. Yeah, it's not having fish and chips tonight. We're having Anderson with rice. But Anderson was my defensive midfielder. So you can go back to Angry Matt and say...
well, mate, the microphone is yours. He will be listening to this. He says he's on. He told me in his message he was on a plane. He was flying out somewhere. So He'll be on a plane somewhere listening to this. What's your message to him right here, right now?
My message to you, Angry Matt, is my England team was Reece James, Konsa, Gahey, Livramento,
That's not the message.
Anderson, Rice, Saka, Bellingham, Eze, Kane. I rest my case.
That's not the message, though. The message is, Angry Matt, shut your mouth. Stop being an idiot.
No, I wouldn't be rude like that. I wouldn't. He knows I'm polite always to all our listeners. I'm glad you listen, Angry Matt. But I'm on your side because I'm not a Derby supporter like Nick. That's my message to you.
Wait for it.
Donkey. Oh yeah.
We like that.
It's like chic.
That's our new Kenny's quiz music. We like that, don't
That's
we?
lovely. It's lovely.
It is everybody's favourite time of the week. It is time for Kenny's quiz. Now, on the back of a resounding success last week where he got 3 out of 3. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Pick your phones up. Pick yourselves off the floor. Kenny got 3 out of 3 last week. So I'm looking for a similar
That's
result.
for 2 out of 3. Tunisia, no homework done. As always, wouldn't be fair to do any homework.
I think you will get 3 out of 3 because much like the fact I couldn't find any decent players who played for Tunisia, I couldn't find anything really interesting to put in a quiz about the place that was gettable. That was gettable. There's lots of really. There's what?
I don't know anything about Tunisia.
No, I looked at it. There's a lot of really interesting history. There's a lot of really interesting stuff about Tunisia, but not something that I could put in a quiz for somebody who doesn't know anything about Tunisia or indeed. Do you see what I mean? There is an interesting.
We're going to have to come up with 3 questions.
Well, I have come up with 3. So, number 1, just as a listener, I think if you're playing along at home, by the way, and do play along at home, shout out the answers to this because everybody in the world should get this right because this is a really easy one to start with. What is the currency of Tunisia? Oh, no.
I
don't like me. I don't like that heading.
Well, it can only either be the euro. It's going to be the franc because they were French, or the lira, but because they're quite near Italy. I'm going to say the Tunisian, or is it something stupid like the dinar? Why would that be stupid though? I'm going to say the Turkish. The Libyan. No, it's not Tunisian. Frank.
You were so close. You're so close, mate. The answer is the dinar. You had it. You had it in the palm of your hand. I thought you were toying with me. I thought you knew, and you were just toying me by pretending it would be the franc, which, of course.
Well, where did I get the dinar from? I got it from somewhere, didn't I?
Tunisia, I think. That's their national currency. So you're not going to get it from Spain, are you?
No, but why did it come in my head? Because it's nowhere else, is it, the dinar, is it?
No. Oh, mate, sorry. That was so close.
Oh.
So I kind of even feel for you. Right, okay. Number 2. What famous movie franchise series used many, many, many locations in Tunisia for its settings? One of the most famous movie franchises in the entire world ever.
Trainspotting. No.
You'll have to tell me the first answer. You know the rules. You know the rules, Kenny's quiz.
I would imagine, because it's dunes and stuff like that, it will be Star Wars.
Spot on. Good man.
Good.
Right. Good. For a respectable 2 out of 3, which would be a good comeback. All right, you can stop clapping now. For a respectable 2 out of 3 and a good comeback. Number 3, the Tunisian flag features a circle with what inside it? Shout out the answer.
I'm having deja vu now because we had this conversation before, didn't we, about a face in it?
Well, that was last week, yeah.
It was last week.
It wasn't a conversation that we'd had before. It was like last week's podcast.
Yeah, but they had a circle with something in it.
Yeah, that's what inspired me to ask this question. If it helps you, do you want a clue?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a clue. So last week we talked about Uruguay, and it had a face inside a circle on its flag.
Yeah.
Your clue is it's not a face in Tunisia.
So I would say a circle with a star in it.
What sort of star? Give it.
Star? I don't know. You don't say no.
Yeah, that's a bit suspicious. That you just pulled that out of nowhere, as if you were like googling it on the spot.
No, I was thinking it's an Arabic thing, isn't it? And it's an Arabic country, and I know things like Turkey have got like a crescent moon and a star. And I thought, well, the sun isn't going to have a crescent moon in it. That's too complicated. So I thought we might have a star just to recognise that, in fact, it's an Islamic nation.
Yeah,
that sounds plausible to me.
No, that's an acceptable explanation. I'm not sure I buy it. I think you were just buying time there whilst you're tapping away, having a look.
No, my phone's over there.
Yeah, but your computer's right in front of you, where I can't see it.
No chance.
Right,
No. I got 2 out of 3, and in fact, probably 2.5 out of 3 because I did mention Dino. Wish I had the courage in my convictions.
You should have, yeah. Go with your gut, mate. Always go with your gut. Yeah, it is indeed a star. It's a red flag, Tunisian flag. It's got a circle with a star inside it. So well done, mate. 2 out of 3. Good comeback.
Thank you.
Good comeback.
Thank you. That's good.
You're a bit like Derby. You're a bit like Derby. You only start playing when you're losing. So well done, mate. Very good. Right, before we get on,
my standard's getting better.
I think it is. You're consistently getting 2 out of 3 now.
Excellent.
Right. Next week, what we do next week? Algeria, did we say?
Algeria. Okay, it's a circle. What's in the middle of the circle? Camel, palm tree, oasis. I don't know.
Oh well, we'll just have to roll with it.
And June.
Right. Let's have a look before we finish with our predictions at the coach Sami Trabelsi. He's a centre half. Well, he used to be a centre half. He's not anymore, obviously. He's a centre half for Tunisia. 81 caps as a player between 1991 and 2001, and this is his second spell in charge of the national team. His first was ignominious. That's the only way I could put it. Ignominious between 2000 and 2013, and he got sacked when his team got kicked out of the group stages of the African Cup of Nations. He went away, disappeared into club management, did all right in Qatar, all of that kind of stuff. Came back into the Tunisian national setup, and he's been in charge for 6 games, and he's won 5 of them. But as we discussed earlier on, not the greatest opposition in World Cup qualifying, but you can only beat what's in front of you, my friend. 5 out of 6 wins, so maybe this time things are going to look a little bit better for him. Now, interestingly, on a wider sense, this kind of taps into him, but also the wider Tunisian FA. They are on a drive at the moment to find the, I guess what you could call the footballing diaspora of Tunisian players, because they think they recognise that they need players who play in Europe if they're going to improve. So I think this is one of the reasons why we're starting to see this churn of players, and the fact you've got the players that I mentioned. Saad was born in Germany. Akuri was born in France, and Valerie was born in France. So you can kind of see where I'm going here. See where I'm going here with this? No, not France.
Well, I would be if I was the head of Tunisian FA, because there's a lot of Tunisians in France.
Yeah, so they're looking at players who are of Tunisian descent who could qualify for them, who are playing in Europe. Makes
sense. We've seen it make sense for other teams when they've done that.
Yeah, that's almost my most interesting fact about Tunisian football today.
And that was fairly interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was. It's part of a broader long-term strategy I've written down here. Broader long-term strategy aimed at strengthening the team's depth and competitiveness ahead of the World Cup next year. And goodness me, they need to strengthen their depth and competitiveness. Ken, how are they going to get on?
Well, before we get to that, we're about to do this.
We'll not do that yet.
Bioniq.
Oh,
Bioniq. Global Sports Podcast Networks partner with Bioniq. We can't forget them. The world's most personalised supplements, because Bioniq deliver because your body is unique. Yours, isn't it? Because without knowing what deficiencies you have, taking off-the-shelf supplements mean you're probably not getting enough of the nutrients you need. Nick, you're not getting enough of them. And you're getting too many of the things you don't need. And we all know that's true.
Bioniq
provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right level. well, they'd be prescribing me a pint of Guinness right now. To optimize your health, no guessing. Click the link on the show notes. Use the code GSPN 2025. You'll get 40% off your first discount off your order, off your discount off your first order. Just arrange those words in any way that works for you.
Do you want to try that again? You get 40% off what? Your discount of your order of your first
discount of the first
order. Excellent.
Yeah,
very
thanks.
good. Well, enjoy your pint of Guinness with your Anderson and Rice later on. I'm sure it'll be very nice. Okay, we're going to finish this rather chaotic episode of Road to World Cup 26, which is part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for making us your specialist World Cup resource, which I'm sure you do. If you're fairly new to the podcast, check it out. We've got, this is episode 31. There's 30 other episodes of Ken and I doing this. I know, bringing wisdom to you. But all the teams that are qualified, no, we're right on top of this because all the teams that are qualified, we've done a deep dive into. So pick your team, wherever you are, whether you're driving around, whether you're walking around, whether you're on a plane like Angry Matt, pick a team, download it, settle down, and learn and enjoy. Right, we're going to finish this podcast by doing some predictions. Ken, how do you think Tunisia will get on in the World Cup 2026?
Poorly, I think, is the answer. I've got them going out in the group stages. I was looking at the list of all the predictions we've made earlier. Of 30 or maybe 25 teams that we've already picked from, we've had very few teams going out in the group stages. Correction, this is the 22nd. This is only the third team I've said is going out in the group stages. So clearly something's gone badly wrong there. But I think they are going out in the group stages. Heat might be an advantage. They're used to playing in very hot weather, obviously in Tunisia, and that's probably their only advantage because we know it's been fairly hot when they played in the World Cup. I think their best chance of winning is if there's a meteorite strike that kills all the other teams. That only then I think they have a chance of making it to the later stages of the World Cup. I've got them going out in the group stages. They're 46th for a reason. They're probably not even 46th. So I think they're going to be just fodder for the other teams to beat.
Well, that's a bit pessimistic, isn't it?
Yes, I'm optimistic, actually.
Goodness me, mate. Goodness me. Well, I'm sorry, Tunisian fans, that you had to sit through that and Ken absolutely slating your team. My prediction, you'll be glad to hear, is exactly the same. They're rubbish. And they'll go out in the group stages. And that's all I have to say about them. Goodbye. Thank you very much for listening. No, I don't really give them much of a hope for all the reasons we've talked about. Well done for getting there. You've got a very lucky group, but you've taken advantage of it. That's the end of it. That's as far as it's going to go. If you can get a point, if you can get draw out of your 3 games in your group stages, you would have done well. If you can get 2 draws, you would have done even better. But I don't think any of it's going to be enough to take you through to the round of 32. So, and I think if your only hope and your best hope is either intense heat or a meteorite, we are rather clutching at straws, Kenny, aren't we? We're rather clutching at straws.
Or maybe drawing New Caledonia in the first game. So we're off to Algeria next time, which is, I think, a neighbour of Tunisia.
Yeah, it's one of only. Maybe I should have had that in my quiz. What are the 2 countries, by the way, that border Tunisia?
I would say Algeria and Morocco.
No, Morocco doesn't. Morocco's further west.
Okay. Algeria and Libya.
Algeria and Libya is the answer.
Get in.
But it wasn't in Kenny's quiz, and you didn't get it right. So it is Algeria and Libya. And might as well finish off on this theme. What sea? No, I'm not even going to go that way. Right. No, I'm not even going to do that.
Don't even do that.
What sea is on the coast of Tunisia?
The Mediterranean.
Yeah, I got the question wrong. I was going to say what body of water is on it, and then as soon as I said sea, the answer is always going to be Mediterranean, isn't it? It's not going to be anything else.
It is when there's only a desert behind you, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say what body of water, then I mucked the question up. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. Thank you very much for sticking with us. If you want to get hold of us, you can get hold of us via email on roadtoworldcup26@gmail.com. You can find us on Spotify, you can find us on YouTube, you can find us all over the place, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on social media, drop us a line, keep in touch. In fact, do drop us a line because I'm sick of hearing from Angry Matt all the time. Do drop us a line and It'd be great to hear from you. And of course, as you know, if you do, you'll get featured on the show, and you'll read out your letters and all of those kind of things. Right, that brings an end to this thrilling episode. We've had fun, have we not, Ken?
Oh yeah, we always have fun. We love the Road to World Cup. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like a blood transfusion.
Yeah,
maybe overstating it slightly.
I think so. Yeah, a strange analogy, but it's good fun anyway. So we enjoy it. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, we shall meet again in Algeria. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.